Hello. I want to thank everyone for viewing the Hexagon Content Program's virtual presentation. I understand that we're going through some difficult times, but I think that HxGN has done a fantastic job, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide this recording to everyone. I am Randy Mayden, Business Development Manager for Hexagon. We will also have Richard Wade, the State of Texas GIO. Richard will discuss the incorporating the Hexagon Content Program into the state's image program. Our world gets more complex all the time. We all understand that, and we need data to manage these complexities. HxGN has a goal to bring the state geospatial community together. Very admirable goal. And Hexagon also has a goal, and that's to provide sustainability to meet these content needs. Hexagon has invested heavily to drive the transformation into sustainability. We've added several companies: Northwest Geomatics out of Canada, Sigma Space with their single photon LiDAR, Thermopylae in their content management programs, and Cowie and Mellon in Europe to help manage the European content. We also have content image providers. Previously, there has been several content providers doing custom work for the various users in the nation. We also have technology. We're very fortunate to be owned by Leica, where we can bring the latest in image sensor technologies and software to our programs. We also have the major players, very large companies in the communities: Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple. They also have very strong image content needs. Hexagon looks at us, at ourselves, as kind of the glue that brings all these together. We bring the content providers, the image acquisition firms, the sensor technology and software providers to meet the needs of our end customers. Hexagon has a vision, Hexagon DR, which is digital reality. We have a vision to bring a digital twin of the world to our customers via the streaming service. Hexagon Content Program already provides a 2D portion of Hexagon DR. It's available right now. You're going to hear more and more about Hexagon DR as we move along. Hexagon DR, it starts with the aerial orthophoto image, moves down to high resolution ortho imagery, oblique, LiDAR, moves down into mobile data collection, so you can actually get the street view of the data. And then we take it one step further into the inside the buildings to the actual 3D scanning and rendering within the buildings. I had mentioned the content providers, the image acquisition providers. Hexagon is very proud to say that up to 60% of our content program is captured by our trusted partners. We selected the best in class, if you will, for our image acquisition firms. This is a very large program. We don't look at Hexagon taking over the entire content program. We trust our partners. We need our partners to make this successful. We're also very happy to say that up to 75% of our content is sold by our resellers. We have a wide network of resellers throughout the country. They know their customers. They know the needs. They have the relationships. They understand what specifically clients need, and so we've captured these resellers and incorporated those into the content program, and it works very well. Do a little bit of an update, a coverage update, if you will. 2020, we had a big year, over 965,000 square miles of refresh data covering 7 states. If you've heard any of our presentations previously, you understand that the content program is moving to a 15-centimeter nationwide coverage. Very happy to say that Texas will be the first state providing 6-inch data statewide. We started that collection. The data will be available at the end of the year. We have some very bold plans for 2021. We plan to collect over 1 million square miles, covering about 20 states, I believe. Several of these states in 2021 will also be captured at 6-inch resolution or 15 centimeter. We're making progress. We're moving forward, as we had stated previously, about upgrading and making the content program a little bit better all along. I've mentioned Leica Geosystems. They provide state-of-the-art image sensors, and you've heard me previously talk about the move to the 15 centimeter. To make that possible, we've developed a new sensor, the content mapper. It's been a long time in coming. It's very intricate sensor, and we're moving forward with that. It allows us to double the data capture at the same resolution. Our current sensors cover about 20,000 pixels across swath. Fantastic ortho imaging machines, and they've served our needs very, very well over the past 6 years with the content program. The content mapper, however, is taking a giant leap. Our new sensor, the content mapper, will capture 40,000 pixels across a swath width. However, it's at twice the resolution with the same acquisition parameters of our previous sensor. That's going to provide an extremely important efficiency in our aerial acquisition as we move forward. We have some data to share today. Test flight area over in Europe. You can see this is 15 centimeter GSD, 6-inch data, captured from 14,665 feet above ground. Very sharp, very crisp, very good colors. Here's just an example of that zoomed in. Extremely high quality. We're very, very pleased with the quality of the image this sensor is going to provide. In addition to the RGB, which is pretty much the base for many of our users, there is a strong need for the color IR data. We also are going to incorporate color IR into the content mapper so we can better meet the needs of a lot of the environmental firms. And I think that the more and more people use the CIR data, they discover more and more uses for this IR data. So we're going to continue to move forward with that. Content program today, most of you understand it's orthophoto land-based, 4-band. We have the entire country at 30 centimeters, 15 centimeters in the city. Available via streaming or download. That's going to continue to move forward. We have made a few adjustments. We've had some requests and some demands, if you will, of our digital surface models and stereo imagery. Based on those demands, we have developed new products that will be available this year, where you can actually purchase the DSMs and the stereo imagery, wall-to-wall US coverage based on our base aerial imagery acquisition. The DSM is a byproduct. We use that to create the digital ortho. Also, the ortho is now available for machine learning. The key to this for the machine learning, when you look at it in the large scale, is that we do have the entire US covered. So you have consistency and positional accuracy as you move across the country, move from state to state. You can be assured that the data will meet the same accuracy standards moving from one part of the country to the other. And that's very important in the machine learning aspects. Again, just the content program here. Most of you are familiar with it. Immediate access right now with our data via download or streaming. We have a very, very attractive financial model that allows the states to pay for the data over a 3-year time frame. It's a 3-year contract, 3-year license agreement. It helps a lot with the planning and budgeting, and I know that we're all going to be faced with some possible budget constraints in the future. So I think the 3-year payout will definitely allow a little bit of flexibility with the states. Very happy to talk about the next phase, the Hexagon Content Plus. The Hexagon Content program has been very successful. It's had a certain set of data and models that we adhered to, but we've moved forward with that. We're providing a tremendous amount of flexibility with the Hexagon Content Plus. What we are now moving forward to and allowing is if a state has specific state specifications that they would like to follow with the content program, we allow that. If you have areas that need possibly higher refresh rates, we're willing to incorporate those into the content program so you can update certain areas within the state on a little bit higher refresh schedule. And this one I'm really excited about. I know this has been somewhat of an issue in certain parts of the country, is the leaf-off collection. To meet those needs, the Hexagon Content Plus now allows and will incorporate leaf-off collection if need be. we're willing to have these discussions. The content is still licensed data, but we're opening it up to further discussions with the state to allow a little bit more tailored program for the states. We're very excited about that. So we're going to have Richard with TNRIS take over now. He is going to talk about the Texas incorporating the content program into TNRIS's existing subscription that is expired and moving forward with the content program. Richard, we're very, very excited to have Texas on board. We look forward to working with you in the future. So I'll hand it off to Richard now, and you can walk through the TNRIS program.
You bet. Thank you, Randy. I absolutely appreciate that, and I think the program that you've outlined for us is quite amazing. And so I did want to let everybody know kind of a little background about what Texas has been doing over the last 25 years as it comes to creating our own imagery program for the state. And so realistically, it's been quite amazing. So 25 years is a long time in this industry and what has taken place. When we first started this, we created our own program called the Texas Ortho Imagery Program. That started in 1995, and it's a 1 meter program, specifically just color IR, and it cost a total of $18.8 million to the state, which the state contributed about $1.9 million a year to that program. And it was, groundbreaking for us. At 1 meter, we thought that was probably about the best it's going to get, and that price tag was something that we didn't take lightly. We used federal grants on certain cases to get some things, and we also had some contribution from local governments and so forth. So it was definitely a team effort at the state level. So we were really proud of that program back in 1995, and it actually took about 9 years before we could replicate the program. Again, 1 meter data, but this time it was natural color. But if you notice, the cost had gone down from 18.8 million to a total of 3 million. So that just goes to show the amazing advances in technology and what they can do for us. The state's contribution to that was $1 million. And then again, you can start to see that we start shortening everything about half. So in 2008, we decided that 1 meter, as good as it was, we realized that the technology was really improving, costs were coming down. And so we did a hybrid approach where we went 1/2 meter and 1 meter in particular areas, 1/2 meter primarily being in the urban areas and then rural areas for the 1 meter. State's contribution to that was about 3.9 million with the overall cost of $6.5 million. And then now we cut it back in half. We're at 2010. And in Texas, unfortunately, was a lean year. Economy was really going south in Texas, and we started losing our budget. We were only able to contribute $371,000 to that particular program. And notice we went back to 1 meter just to be able to have a new content. State total there was 3.7 million. We had our budget slashed completely in 2011, so we started relying on the NAEP program in 2012. So we stayed at the 1 meter. We didn't contribute anything. We just took what NAEP could give us and we used it. Same in 2014 with the 1 meter program. And then in 2015 we started passing the hat around to different state agencies and said, look, if we really want to do this, we're going to have to contribute more to the program. And so the state started collecting data, literally passing the hats. How much can you afford? How much can you afford? We were able to scrape $2.6 million, which gave us full Texas statewide coverage at 1/2 meter. 2.6 million gave us 1/2 meter for Texas, the state the size of Texas, which is a really, really good deal. And then again, we went down to 6-inch in some of the urban areas in 2015. So we realized that the urban areas, we needed better resolution than what we have been getting. And so that was an additional 2.3 million that we provided to obtain that imagery. In 2016, we went back to NAEP with our 1 meter product. We didn't contribute anything there. And then 2016 also was the big year that we decided to switch gears a little bit. Instead of trying to create our own program, we were going to go off of commercial products, what they currently had. In this particular case, we created Texas Imagery Service, which is just using off-the-shelf service data from Google at that point. And it was a fantastic product at 6-inch, for the entire state, and our contribution was $1 million a year. And so that kind of set a trend here. It's that, let's not necessarily try to reinvent the wheel here. Let's take a look at what others have got and see how well it works for us. And so it was a very successful time between 2016 and 2020, getting that 6-inch for the entire state. In 2018, we're also looking at the NAPE imagery at a 0.5 meter resolution roughly, and then states paying 0. And then in 2020, same sort of thing. But I think the key here is this Texas Imagery Service now that we are creating. So this is where Hexagon comes in. So in 2020, this year basically, our Texas Imagery program with the current provider has expired, and we were looking for a replacement for that. And we've been talking to Randy for well over a year on what that would look like. And so we're very, very happy that we are now part of the Hexagon content program, which is really going to add some features and some capabilities we didn't have before, and continues to do what we've been always trying to do, which is provide new and rich content and improvements to the overall program through the Hexagon content program. So I'm going to highlight a few things that we're real excited about. First of all, Hexagon themselves, being the company that they are, is a geospatial company. They are remote sensing, they're GIS, they have all that stuff. And I think that's a huge thing because we talk the same language. And their solutions are, as Randy had mentioned in his segment, provided solutions that we didn't think were possible necessarily under this program. And so really, really excited about that. Imagery across the state is going to be more consistent due that the imagery acquisition is really going to take place all in about a year. And so getting rid of that quilting, where you have segments are done on all different time frames. And in Texas, understanding what time that imagery is taken, the date, the time of year, and so forth, are really, really critical for us to do the work. So having that being more consistent is really, really important. The refresh rate now is increased to every 3 years due to the NAPE schedule, and having that as a known commodity is extremely critical for what we do. And so expectations run high on that kind of thing. So really excited about how that's going to align with our projects here in Texas. Also, too, I want to talk about the opportunity to define acquisition in the urban areas, timing, and extents. And this is kind of what Randy was talking about. We have the ability now to have input into what gets collected, how it gets collected, and the timing of that collection. So if we want to decide that urban areas we would like to take down to 3 inches or any other area that would be important to a program here at the state, we can negotiate that with Hexagon at the time of acquisition and make those adjustments. So that's a new thing for us, and that's a really nice thing to have in this content program. We also believe that the horizontal accuracy is more rigorous with in the ground control and the ortho rectification process under the Hexagon program. And so we know we're going to be able to eliminate some of the issues that has occurred in previous acquisitions, and those are wavy bridges, roads, and so forth, and maybe building lane and things like that have been problems in some specific areas. We believe are going to be much more reduced in this particular program. So excited about having that improved ground control into the program. Attention to details, things like color balance, shadow definition is important. We need to, those seam lines that occur across acquisitions are greatly reduced, and in many cases are undetectable. Cloud shadows, you can see through the shadow, through the building shadow, to see what's on the ground behind those things. All that is a process thing that gets done by Hexagon. That really, really is something that's important, and you don't realize how important it is until you don't have it. Access to color infrared imagery, as Randy was mentioned. Even though our service is going to be primarily natural color, we have access to that color infrared stuff for some of our stakeholders who have value in that color infrared. This is now an option. And so, again, something that we didn't have except for the early days of our own program and some parts of NATE before, where we were able to do some of that. But now, as it being part of the program that Hexagon is giving us, is really, really, really important. Also, to maintain our existing licensing use and restrictions, we have kind of grown accustomed to how we use this information. We have out-facing viewers where this information is hosted and provided to the public that way. We can still do that. We have printed reports where that imagery is the base of those printed reports that go out to our stakeholders and go out to the public. We're able to do all of that. And realistically, when you have that and combine it with the ability to have improved quality of imagery when it comes to things like color balance and so forth, those backdrops of imagery become extremely critical in these reports. And so overall, this is something that we have been truly, truly excited about. We've been able to preview a lot of this information. Randy has provided us links in advance for months where we were able to take a look at that. We showed it to our stakeholders. And frankly, we are all extremely excited about moving forward with Hexagon into the future and what this is going to provide. So we couldn't be more excited. And so, Randy, thank you for all your help, and really, really jazzed to be a part of the program, and looking forward to what the future, takes us. So I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot, Richard. I failed to mention, and shame on me, that with our Texas program, we're working through our partner HxGN, work with those folks on a number of programs. Fantastic group to work with, and I know they have a very strong relationship with the state of Texas, and we're just tickled to death to work with HxGN and the state of Texas to bring the content program to Texas. So,
Randy, and I want to reiterate that I couldn't agree with you more. This is not doable if HxGN wasn't a partner in this whole process. Realistically, being able to transition out to the Hexagon system would not have been achievable at all if HxGN hadn't made it happen. So thank you for bringing that up.
You bet. I failed to mention that earlier. I don't want to forget HxGN. They're a very, very strong partner within the content program. Richard, I want to thank you again for joining the program. Look forward to working with Texas in the future. All the NSGIC attendees, again, want to thank you for viewing our presentation. So with that, we'll close. And again, thanks to everyone, and take care.